Good afternoon. This is Susan O'Connor Fraser flying solo today on Think Local First Radio. And as you know, our listeners know that we like to spend this hour focusing on a Think Local First member. And today we're fortunate enough to have in the studio with us Justin Gorman. Hi, Justin. How are you?
Good.
Let's turn your audio up a bit. There, try that again. How are you, Justin?
Doing good.
Doing good. Great. And Justin is the owner of a couple of different operations, and one of those is the Think Local First member, Just Thriftin. And we'll talk a little bit more about Just Thriftin in just a bit. But first, we want to hear about, like I always like to start these shows with your life story, your journey to being the owner of Just Thriftin. How did you get here?
All right. How far do we want to go back?
Yeah, there's a funny line in the first or the second season of White Lotus where they wanted to hear the woman's backstory, and she says, "Well, I was born."
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, I didn't really expect you to go back that far. So, just where did you grow up, and how did you get to Santa Cruz, or are you a Santa Cruz native, or what's the deal?
So I kind of grew up bouncing around the Bay Area. I came to Santa Cruz when I was about 17. Lived in San Jose when I was younger, and always visited here. Came for that. But yeah, I came to stay around 17, 18. Got in a lot of trouble. So, how the businesses came to be is I got out of prison in 2018. I did spent most of my adult life in prison, about 12 years.
Wow, because you're still pretty young.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot of road ahead of you.
Thank you. I don't always feel like it, but thank you. Spent about 12 years in prison. Got out in 2018 with some family support, some friend support, but monetarily, not much.
That's a pretty typical story of people in prison is they get out and it's like, okay, now how do we get started so we don't go back?
Yeah. So that's kind of where I was at. I'd done my fair share of incarceration, and it was always behind drugs. So I had made a choice that I didn't want to do that anymore. I wasn't gonna. I just wasn't gonna do drugs anymore. So.
Good for you. That's a hard choice. I've had, seriously, we've had, both my husband and I have family that have, gone through that struggle, and it is a struggle.
Yeah.
And once you make that decision, it doesn't mean that the struggle's over. It means it's kind of just begun almost.
Yeah. Luckily, some people say that being in prison is worse or better. My opinion is that, at least for my drug use, it was advantageous for me to be locked in a box. Because outside of here, trying to get clean off drugs, even if you want to, is very difficult. There's too many distractions, drugs everywhere, people things like that. But I was fortunate enough to be put in a box and forced to be. Not forced. You can still get drugs in there, but
right.
Once I had made that choice of I don't want to live like that anymore, it was much easier to do for me, being in prison for as long as I was. The last time was 6 years, so I had 6 years to build the foundation before I got out and was faced with the real world. So when I got out, I didn't have much in the form of monetary value. Needed a job, but all is not forgiven when you get out of prison. They say that you come out and you're clean slate, you've served your time, and society doesn't forget though.
Right.
So
which is part of the challenge, right?
Yeah,
Is like if you're, if you had a clean slate, it would make that journey a lot easier
yeah,
than coming out and then being faced with other obstacles that, it's unfair.
yeah. So I mean, you're in prison. Yeah, you go to prison. You do your time, but that's it. They don't teach you anything. They don't prepare you for life. Most people that are in prison um, have been there before. Come from a life where they weren't taught how to basic life skills. Um, so when I got out of prison, I didn't. There's a lot of things I didn't know how to do. I didn't know how to cook for myself. I didn't know how to pay bills. I didn't know how to get a real job. I worked construction when I was younger, things like that. But I went to prison the first time real young, at 21. So um, when I got out this time at 35, I still didn't have any life skills. I still didn't understand how to operate in this sphere.
Being an adult.
Yeah, being an
Yeah.
adult. Yeah, I know how to operate in prison is much easier.
Right.
It's expected of you. But when you get out here, there's bright lights and shiny things and people and distractions, and so trying to find a job with the record that I had was very difficult. And so I was like, I kind of just gave up on finding a job, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll just create my own job. Um, so I did a lot of different things. Um, I would pick up like free piles on the side of the road. That's kind of how like the thrift store thing eventually came about.
Mm.
Was I would search up online who was giving stuff away, and I would go pick it up and resell it. It still has value,
Right.
People still want it, so I would go pick up free piles, and I'd sell it on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or Amazon or whatever. Then I started doing more stuff like selling, going to estate sales and garage sales and things like that to just find ways to make money. Worked a bunch of different odd jobs, cleaning houses and vending machine company. Um, but eventually, yeah, I was living at an SLE, uh,
SLE stands for.
a sober living environment. So it was like where I went, state paid for it. I was on a nonviolent funding source through the state for getting out of prison, and then so they paid for the first couple months being in that house. I started managing or assistant managing, and then managing it, and then eventually in 2020, I had saved up some money. Um, so I ended up buying the business from the last owner. Um, so that was the first business I started.
Is that the Just Recovery
That was a
or Real Life
yeah,
Recovery?
yeah, real
Yeah.
life recovery. So it's a housing facility for men coming out of prison or off the streets or out of jail that need somewhere to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty inspiring, overall that you work through this and you remain clean during this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year I have 13 years clean.
It just gives me chills all over just thinking about how that's such an accomplishment, seriously. Do you, so Real Recovery, you started in March of 2020 and you're still going.
Still going, yeah.
And
Yeah.
how many people do you house there, at a given time? Because I'm sure people are coming and going, right?
Yeah. So between the two houses, I opened another one in 2023. So between the two houses, it's uh, about 28 people.
Wow. What does that give you personally, as far as not the money part of it,
Yeah.
but the how does that affect your spirit? I guess in terms of knowing that you're helping 28 people, overcome or hope, or at least be on the road to their recovery.
Yeah, I mean, uh, definitely not monetarily. It doesn't give me much, but that's not why I do it. I
Right.
do it because people need help. I needed help, you know. The community needs the houses. Um, Even with what I do, I still have to watch people die, you know, that don't get it, can't get off drugs, can't stay clean, have to watch their children suffer, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's oftentimes it's thankless, but that's all right too because it feels good, you know. It gives me um the chance to give people a chance,
Right.
even if they don't always realize it or
Or they're not successful.
yeah,
That's yeah. It's not something that I mean, we know so many people in our lives that have really struggled with this,
yeah,
and continue to struggle. I have a very close family member that is sober, has been sober now for 3 years, I think, but I still don't know if I'll ever relax and feel like it's in their past, because you hear of these stories where even after many years people relapse.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it takes a long time to rebuild that trust with the family.
Hmm.
Um,
So from there, from real recovery, came just junkin.
just junking was next. Yeah, uh, what I saw when I was running, what I dealt with when I got out of prison was not being able to find a job because of my record. Even though I knew that I was ready to not commit crime, not do drugs, and not go back to prison. Right?
Hmm.
Society doesn't know that, and so the forgiveness is not there. Right? So I had to do what I had to do as far as like making money, but not everybody has that ability, and I understand that. That's not me being egotistical. It's just reality, right? Like not everybody has that. People face struggles that they can't always deal with
Hmm.
in reintegrating back into society after jail or prison or homelessness, right? There's things that they can't deal with, and one of those things is being told no over and over and over and over and over again, trying to get a job. When you're
Right.
trying to do everything you can to be a better person and be off drugs, and you're trying to go get some basic job, and they are looking at your record going, no, we know you did your time and you're supposed to be forgiven, but we're not going to give you a chance
Hmm.
because of your past, right? And so, um, I was trying to come up with a business to where I could circumvent that process for a lot of the guys, even if it was just one person,
Right.
right? So that's why I started just junking initially, was because I wanted to be able to have the guys that came into the house be able to get on the truck with me and get some money in their pocket, get some work ethic, build a foundation of like, I have to get up in the morning, I have to go to work, I have to feed myself, I have to do the basic things of life. And in those situations when they couldn't get a job, because it happens a lot, and I saw it over and over again where guys were doing the best they could, but they just couldn't get a job,
Hmm.
and so they would end up going back out, losing their family, going back to jail, and unfortunate times I watched people die because they couldn't get a job.
And that's because they ended up going back on drugs and
Yeah,
ODing.
yeah. I mean it was just too much pressure. It was like, okay,
Right.
they're going to the meetings and they're rebuilding their connections with their family and their kids, and there's those things. But but men, I mean, we all have to live, right? We
Hmm.
have to pay bills. We have to grow in life, and one of those things is having a job. And these guys that are coming in, they're facing these problems, and they're doing everything they can. They're checking all the boxes, but society's still like, no, we're not going to give you a chance. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of resilience all the time. When you get told no 3, 4, 5, 10 times, and you're trying to get a job, it breaks people. You
Right.
know, some people it doesn't. Some people have a little bit more resilience, but some people don't.
I probably most people fall in that other category, I
You know,
would bet.
the rejection and is hard on people, so it puts them in a place where, okay, well, they go back out, and one could argue that like, okay, well, if they really wanted to be clean, they wouldn't go back out no matter what. But that's it's all relative, right? Like,
Do you think it's a public education process that people just don't they don't, I think about other things in our past, and as people, as the problems came closer to home,
mhm,
right? That all of a sudden you knew someone that was having substance abuse problems, then you had a little bit more compassion and towards that. Or if you had someone in your life that had been in prison for whatever reason, that you'd have more compassion. Is that the challenge, that people just don't have enough exposure to people that are struggling?
um, yeah, I mean, some of it, yeah, I think that definitely plays a part. I think a bigger part is just the the laws and the regulations and people owning businesses that aren't willing to take a chance.
Right.
They have their corporate rules and background checks and all those things, you know. Um, I can't remember what year it was. They passed the law where they couldn't ask if you were convicted of a felony within a certain. They couldn't ask that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Did that help?
No,
Because
no,
they would
because
still ask, or they'd see it on a background check.
they now what they do is they circumvent the process, right? So they use this little trick where they go, "Are you willing to answer this question?" Right. So instead of asking the question, they ask, like say on Indeed when they're filling out applications or doing your resume, at the bottom of the page it'll say, "Are you willing to answer this question?" So
If you say no,
if you say no, then you've basically
said yes,
said yes,
to
right?
the fact that you've had an issue.
So then they weed you. I mean, evidence shows that they weed you out based on that, and so they've circumvented the legal process of like not being allowed to ask the direct question. So it's still they've found a way around it, right?
So we need to take a break. We
Okay.
need to take our first commercial break. This is Susan O'Connor Frazier on Think Local First Radio here on Santa Cruz Voice. And I'm with Justin Gorman. We're going to take a break, pay some bills. And when we come back, we'll continue the story of how Justin has gone from his prior life to be owning a real life recovery, helping 28 people at a time, to owning Just Junkin and now Just Thrifting. So we'll hear more about it. So stay tuned. Don't go away.
Hi, folks. Warren Knox here of Knox Roofing. I do have some names to share with you that truly are important and distinguished. Names like GAF's Master Elite Contractor, Owens Corning Preferred Contractor, Duralast's Elite Contractor. What do all these titles have to do with you? It means when you hire Knox Roofing, you will be hiring the best in the roofing business. So call Knox Roofing. You won't be disappointed. Call Knox Roofing at 461-0634 anytime. Thanks, folks.
I've got a question for you. Do you want a lower car payment just by making a phone call? You know, most people buy a car and they pay whatever the car dealer says their interest rate is, and they forget about it and make payments. But did you know there is a secret in your contract that allows another company to refinance any car payment to try and lower it? It's true. There is indeed a company out there that knows the ins and, more importantly, the outs on car loans, and they know how to lower your current car payments. It's easy and fast, and you could have a lower car payment next month. Make this free call right now and find out if you could lower your existing car payment. Call the Car Savings Hotline right now. The call is free.
Call now, 800-471-4435, 800-471-4435, 800-471-4435. That's 800-471-4435.
Treehouse dispenses not only the finest cannabis products, but information to those who want to know how to use cannabis for maximum benefit. Hello, I'm Jenna. If you would like to know how best to use cannabis, ask your friends and neighbors at Treehouse Dispensary, 3651 SoCal Drive. If you're 21 plus with a valid ID, no appointment is necessary and the information is free. Order online at ourtreehouse.io and pick up at our drive-thru. See you soon.
Hello, and welcome back to Think Local First Radio. This is Susan O'Connor Frazier, and we are in the studio here at Santa Cruz Voice with Justin Gorman, who is got 3 businesses going at the same time. I can't tell you how many of our members seem to have multiple things going at the same time. They're busy people. Justin is the owner of Real Life Recovery, which helps people that have, either been homeless or come out of prison or jail, kind of get back on their feet and you have a place to stay. Really important part of that recovery process. He's also owner of Just Junkin. He started Just Junkin in 2023, still going strong. And more recently, a year ago, coming up on a year, he formed Just Thriftin. So tell me about that process from going from Just Junkin and why do you think you wanted to have Just Thriftin?
Yeah, just Thriftin came about because, excuse me, I was doing the junk removal, and at the time I had one truck, and when we do the jobs locally, our process is to always try and donate first. All right, so we do the junk removal jobs. Um, we can try and take whatever it is, furniture, appliances, if they're working, clothes, anything that needs to be removed. A lot of times they're still usable. They're not straight up trash. I mean, a small portion of what we do is actual like trash that needs to go directly to the landfill, but a lot of it is still good stuff. So we always try and donate first. Um, so in that situation, I found myself consistently going to Goodwill and Gray Bears and Habitat for Humanity, um, mainly those three, and donating a lot of stuff. So what ended up started happening was we would show up repeatedly throughout the day to these donation places, and I mean they only have a limited amount of space, so they run out of space quick. And when you show up with a box truck, 12-foot box truck full of stuff every day, multiple times a day, they're like throwing their hands up like, get out of here, we don't
We have no more room.
yeah, there's no more room, this is too much, and I'm sure there's other junk removal companies that have had that problem as well. Where, okay, like I want to donate it, it's still good stuff, but I've been to 3 different donation places now, and I have other jobs to go. I got to empty my truck. What do I do?
Right.
Right. So, at first I was like, okay, well, I guess I just have to take it to the landfill at that point. So take it to the landfill. Then I get to the landfill and I start feeling bad. I'm like, this doesn't feel good to be throwing this good stuff away. So then I would get storage lockers. I started filling the storage lockers full of stuff. Because I didn't want to throw it away, and the donation places can't take it. They're full, or they don't want it, because they have like their regulations, like certain places will only take it if it doesn't have a scratch on it, or it's not dented, or like just still good. It just has one little scratch, and
Right.
I'm like, well, somebody would still want this, still want to buy it. It's still good.
I know. We had Gray Bears on probably a couple months ago, and they
Uh-huh.
talked about how a lot of the things they used to take, they no longer take.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, I'm sure, what part of what you're facing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody has their rules, and they have their reasons why they have them, and I understand that. Goodwill's similar, where it's like if it's a piece of furniture, but it has like, if your cat scratched the corner of it, they won't take it.
Mm.
But somebody still is going to want that, even if it's only for $25 or $50. It's still worth keeping out of the landfill.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, so I just ended up taking a lot of the stuff, and I was just getting these multiple storage units, and they're just stacking full. And so I started thinking about, okay, well, before I had these 2 businesses, what was I doing? I was picking up free piles and selling stuff on Facebook and eBay and stuff. So, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start selling individual items on Facebook Marketplace.
Online again.
Yeah. So I started doing that. But between running the first 2 businesses, being on the truck, trying to meet people after work, in between work jobs, people not showing up, so I was trying to hire other people to do it. That was difficult, just logistics wise. So then I was like, okay, well, I guess we're in this county, the city, whatever is in need, in my opinion, of another thrift store.
Right.
So I started looking for other places, warehouses, all over the place, but rent is so expensive. Luckily I heard about the mall, and offering lower cost rent to small businesses. So I was like, I went and I talked to them. It was true. They're really nice. They're really accommodating. They showed me a space that was way bigger than I thought I would need. Now I'm like, I need more space.
But I've heard this about Capitola Mall, is that they're really trying to work with small businesses.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own experience, but my experience has been really good. They were very nice to me. They're more than welcoming, super accommodating on the rent. So, I mean, I know for a fact that without that flexibility and how the way they're doing the rent, I would not be able to afford another place, because most places are in between $1.50 and $3 a square foot.
Right. And a commercial establishment like
Yeah.
yours pays top dollar,
Yeah.
in normally in terms of when you look at zoning, warehouse being the cheapest, and then, by the time you get to commercial, you're way off the charts.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of how that came about. I didn't know what I was doing. I haven't worked in a retail space since I was a child. So I literally knew nothing. I walked into the mall and I just was like, hey, I heard you guys got cheap rent. I got on the phone with somebody and they were like, well, what's your business? What do you want to do? And I don't really know. This is my idea. They're like, okay, cool. No problem. Let's go. So yeah.
So tell me about the store.
Well, we started with doing a wide mix of like pretty much anything that you could think of. I had about 40% of it was furniture in the beginning. I've cut that down to a much smaller amount just because most people that are coming into the mall, it's been the hardest thing to sell for the most part is furniture, because most people are coming into the mall. One, they don't know there's a thrift store there. Two, impulse buys are not large pieces of furniture.
Right.
So people coming into a thrift store in the mall that they didn't know they were going to be walking into aren't going to, the chances they're going to buy a $200 dresser, or even a $50 dresser, just because of the size, just doesn't work out.
Right.
Right. So, yeah. So initially it was a good split. I've cut the furniture down. The whole space is 3,600 square feet. I had it at about half of that for a sales floor. I've recently, over the last couple of months, expanded. I took down one of the walls. I expanded to make it about 2/3 of the 3,600 to have sales floor. We have everything from like basic thrift items to vintage clothes to home decor to little knickknacks, games, toys, tools, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
So you were telling us that you're coming up on your 1 year anniversary. Tell me about that, and how does that make you feel knowing you've survived a year?
Yeah, it's shocking that it's already been a year. I feel like just yesterday I was getting off the junk truck and going to work at night, because that's what I was having to do to get it all set up. I would work on the junk truck and then go there, paint and organize and do all that stuff. So yeah, I'm shocked that it's already been a year. To the 26th, we opened October 26th of last year, right before Halloween. So
You went through one Christmas season.
we did right away.
Yeah.
Right away. It's like I wanted to open right before the holidays, before Halloween. So we opened the 26th. We had Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then Christmas. So yeah, it was great. I'm really looking forward to this year to see what it looks like, just because our store's a lot bigger. We have a lot more stuff. We're more well known. Still a lot of people. I still get people every day that come in there that go, "We had no idea you're here."
Yeah.
Which is understandable. But yeah, there's a little bit more. We have our loyal customer base now that know we're there, so that's going to be cool.
So talking about this pathway that you have created for people that have, maybe are at your residential facilities at Real Life Recovery, and then you wanted to be able to offer them work, because besides finding a place to live, that's one of the challenges if you're, have come out of prison, or or you're already on the streets, and you wanted to give them jobs.
Mm-hmm.
How does Just Thriftin work into that equation for you?
So when I first started Just Thriftin, pretty much everybody that worked in the store was in recovery or at one of my houses. I was opening, let's see. Yeah, so in the store.
And just, if you don't feel comfortable
No, that's
on
fine.
anything, let me know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to backtrack. It's confusing, the
Yeah.
dates and times and all that stuff. But yeah, in Just Thriftin, when we first started, I had a lot of the guys would come and do swing shifts and just get in the motion of having a job, even if it's only temporary. So that happens often where they come in, they don't have a job, they can't get a job, have them work in the store, they can do that just to get used to having a job until they get on their feet and they can find another job. Now I have more of a foundation. Most of the people that work there now, I think I only have one that works there that's not in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, the streamline is still there.
Now you have, I've seen on your social that you have some females that are working there as well. Do you have, are these people that have gone through, or some of them gone through you live in your recovery, or they're just there?
No. The recovery homes are all men.
Okay.
The second house I have, it was co-ed at one point, but it's all men now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the females that work at the store, no, they haven't gone through the house, but they're in recovery, most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just a male problem. Huh?
No, it's definitely not.
No, I know. Tam and I have background in that, and as far as our family goes. So we are actually coming up on our second commercial break. See how fast it's going? I told you that. We're going to take a commercial break and pay some bills, and we'll be back. This is Susan O'Connor Frazier here on Think Local First on Santa Cruz Voice, and I am in the studio with Justin Gorman from Real Life Recovery, Just Junkin, and Just Thriftin, and we will be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned.
Please continue to hold, and he will answer your call in the order in which it was received.
That won't happen at Low Cost Air. When you dial 800-704-1662, a real person answers and helps you find the best airfares foreign and domestic. Your choice.
Please continue to hold, and he will...
Or a real person. Low Cost Air, 800-704-1662. Low Cost Air, 800-704-1662.
Get hooked up with affordable cannabis at your neighborhood Hook Outlet dispensary. We have locations in Santa Cruz, Capitola, and Watsonville. At each Hook Outlet, you will find unmatched low prices on the Hook's unparalleled selection of top-quality medical and recreational cannabis flower, vapes, drinks, gummies, and concentrates. The Hook Outlets are Santa Cruz County's best source for the finest cannabis at the lowest prices. See for yourself. Stop by any Hook Outlet and say hi. We'll see you there. HookOutlet.com.
Attention content producers. You can have access to a complete digital media production facility at Satellite Co-working and Digital Media Studio on Soquel Avenue. Easily rent video and audio equipment, a studio with green screen, editing suite, and audio booth, all at can't say no rates. Schedule a tour to see for yourself at satellitecoworking.com. Mention Santa Cruz Voice for 20% off your first reservation.
The wife says the boat's got to go, no problem. Stored at Anbar Self-Storage in U-Haul, easy off Highway 1 by the airport. 24-hour security for cars, boats, and RVs. Stored away at Anbar Self-Storage in U-Haul and Freedom.
You made the products, now you have to deliver. Anbar Self-Storage and U-Haul has the moving vans, shipping boxes, and packing materials you need to deliver them. Easy off Highway 1 on Airport Boulevard by the airport. Anbar Self-Storage and U-Haul in Freedom.
And welcome back. We are in the studio here at Santa Cruz Voice on Think Local First Radio. With Justin Gorman, who has 3 businesses, at least that's all I know about. Could be some more that I haven't heard about. He owns Real Recovery, that is a home for people, Real Life Recovery, that is a home for people that have either been experienced homelessness or have been in prison or jail. Helps them, those that take advantage of his services there, gives them a place to live. One of the problems that's hard when you're coming out of prison or jail. And the second business of his is Just Junkin, which is potentially a work experience that some of his clients, is that
Yeah.
what you would call them?
Residents.
That residents in real life recovery could take advantage of. And then more recently, almost exactly a year ago, he formed Just Thriftin, which is in the Capitola Mall.
Yep.
And so we were talking about Just Thriftin and talking about the range of products that he has there. And so how did Christmas last year do for you, and what are you thinking this year is going to be like?
Christmas last year was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had there was definitely a lot of people in the mall, more than I expected. When I was moving into the mall, I talked to a lot of the other business owners, and there's always mixed messages. Everybody has a different experience. And some people say that when it's wet or raining or cold, the mall's packed, and then
Right.
when the sun is out, it's empty, which is kind of true, but not always. So yeah, Christmas time was really good. Like I said, we were just there, so it was kind of like this brand new thing. Our branding colors are very bright. They're bright pink and neon green. So I have the neon sign out front, and it was a lot of people. I mean, obviously everybody that came in see, they're like, oh my God, it's a new store. So it's very exciting. So I'm interested to see how that transitions to this year. Obviously more people know we're there, so we'll have more of the loyal customers, but also I still get every day people come in that are saying, oh, I haven't been to the mall in 10 years, or I haven't been to the
Right.
mall, I come once a year, or so it's still every day we get people that haven't been into the store or didn't know we were there.
I mean, the whole mall, not just Capitola Mall, but malls in general have gone through such a change,
yeah.
with online shopping. And I mean, that's part of what Think Local First is about is, not so much to be anti, online shopping, because a lot of our local businesses also have online presence,
Yeah.
but but between online shopping and big box stores that, people, if they go to the mall, they're going specifically to go to Macy's, or I don't even know what's over there right now, other than there's the Halloween store that's there.
Yeah.
But that mall, I mean, when we moved to Santa Cruz, had Mervyn's and J.C. Penney's and Sears.
Mm-hmm.
All three gone.
Yeah.
Now you have, I think Macy's is still there, and then you have Kohl's. Where in this mall is Just Thriftin located?
So we are located right across from the T-Mobile store. So if you're walking in the front of the mall, you go past the water fountains, and then like the most notable that have been there the longest time is probably Santa Cruz Boardroom, or 2 doors down from Santa Cruz Boardroom on the same side. So
Good location.
Yeah, so right in between the Boardroom and Van store. So. And then
they can come into your store and get the used Santa Cruz Boardroom or Vans.
It definitely happens. We get a lot of Van stuff and a lot of Santa Cruz stuff. So
I have my Vans on right now. So what are some of the most popular items that you have there for sale?
I mean, I think the most popular stuff that sells is women's clothes. Still, I try and put more variety out. A lot of people that come in ask if we sell men's clothes. Yes, we do. It's actually pretty evenly split in between men's and women's. An interesting thing that's happening is that, especially the younger generation, the women are buying men's clothes because they like the baggy fit. So they'll come in and they buy the men's t-shirts and they buy the men's hooded sweaters. So between women's clothes and those two, those are probably our top three. It's like
right.
Baggy men's shirts and the baggy hoodies, and then women's clothes.
It's yeah. I mean, our daughter went through a phase where she would only shop at thrift stores, and so we went up to Haight-Ashbury one time because the Goodwill there was supposedly the greatest Goodwill ever. And when you're 15, everything is bigger. So do you see teens coming in as well?
Yeah, I mean the range of ages that we get in the stores is pretty amazing. I definitely get the whole spectrum. We get little kids. I mean, we have I built the space to not just be a thrift store because I've always been a thrifter when I was a kid. I went to thrift stores to resell a lot before I started the thrift store. So I wanted it to be not ugly, not boring, not stinky.
Right.
I wanted to be able to create a space that people actually wanted to shop in and like be in and hang out in. So when I built it out, I built it with like a little living room game area where people can come and hang out and like play games or watch movies while their friends or kids or parents are shopping.
Cool.
And so now with the expansion after the last couple of months, now we have two basic like living room areas. Like one has Super Mario Brothers with the old Nintendo on it, and the other one has like a more updated PS3 game system. And then somewhere along the way, I ended up getting a skee ball machine. So we have skee ball in the store that people can play for free.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So
my favorite game at the boardwalk.
It's a lot of people's favorite game. It's my favorite too. So we get a lot of kids that come in there after school every day. They come in and they play, and then they just hang out with each other, and then they leave or whatever. So I get little kids that drag their parents in. They remember that we have skee ball, and so the parents come in as well. And then I get the elderly that are like, "Oh my God, this is my favorite game." When I was a kid at the boardwalk, and a lot of people are shocked that they can play it for free. They're like, can we play this? And I'm like, yeah, of course. So I set it up to be an environment that people not just greedily want to just make money off of, but where people actually want to go and hang out and be at. That's welcoming, you know?
Do you, what's that saying, one man's junk is another man's treasure or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see, like some of the places that I love to shop at are places that have unusual things, like Ohm Gallery, is one of my favorite stores in downtown Santa Cruz. And it's because the gifts are out of the ordinary. They're, not something that you would necessarily find at Target or some of the other stores that might be there. Do you have that kind of stuff besides the gently used clothing that you're...
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the stuff that things like that I pull off the junk truck, they're going to be thrown away. I mean, even before I had the thrift store, my first priority was to donate things. So now it's still the same. So when we go pick up junk, my priority is still the same. Try and donate first. I can't take everything off of my truck and into my store. I still donate to Gray Bears. I still donate to Goodwill. The things that more usually the bigger stuff, but like a little strange little knickknacks that people treasure. Definitely you can find in the store. I put a lot of that stuff out. I try not to be like thinking in my own brain of like, oh, what would I like? I try and just go, because what ends up happening a lot of times is I'll find an object and I go, this isn't going to sell. What is this? I don't even understand what this is. Right. And I'll put it out on the floor same day.
Right.
It'll go, I'm like, but then the things that I think, like I really like old school vintage mirrors. So when I first opened the store, I put out a lot all over the walls, and they just don't sell.
Interesting.
They don't sell, and I'm like, blows my mind every time. I'm like, these are so cool. But they don't sell.
Yeah, one man's junk is another man's treasure. So what to me is kind of fascinating is what is the process that you go through? You pick up the junk and then they end up on your shelf. What happens in between these two things, whether it's clothes or other, products that you end up selling?
Yeah, so typically the way, and there's a couple of different funnels on how that works, is if it's the bigger stuff, I try and take it directly to Gray Bears or Goodwill. We have living around a space. It doesn't sell fast enough for us to pay our bills. So, so a lot of times my guys will go out to a job. They pick up the stuff. They'll send me our process for junk is to send me the before and after photos, see what it is. If it's donatable, I have them bring it either to another thrift store or to our store. And then it goes from the truck into basically our processing area in the back storage room. I research it. I see if it's broken or if it can be resold, and then put it out on the floor. I just still try and keep, because in those situations, like, because we started doing some buying, so we buy from customers now too, mostly clothes, but some other items too. But the stuff that I get off the truck, I always try and keep still at a fair price, because, and I think that's a lot of the reason why our customers that keep coming back like our stores, because the prices are more fair than some other places.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm able to do that because they come off the truck, because they're going to go in the, technically are going to go in the trash anyways.
Right.
Obviously, so I'm able to keep my inventory cost for that specific item lower. So I try and still find a balance of being able to pay my bills, pay my employees, and also keep the price fair, you know?
That's a big life challenge you're still facing there.
Yeah.
Are you still selling things via Facebook and eBay and all of that?
Sometimes. With running 3 businesses, it's difficult to find the time.
Right.
And hiring more people obviously is more of a cost. So it has to be in the situations, in the times when I'm able to find the balance of like making enough money off of that to be able to pay somebody to do it.
Right.
Then I can do more of it. But when it's just me, as of like right now, it's just it's not always feasible. So sometimes I'll sell an item here or there on eBay or on Facebook Marketplace, but mostly the stuff goes in the store now.
And you talked about the back of the store. Is that where you're cleaning clothes or doing, cleaning up items before it goes on the shelf?
Yeah, so I have like so many shoes that I still need to be cleaned, and that's a lot of it is getting the stuff cleaned. Thankfully, there's a laundry room right across the street from where I'm at in the mall, so I'm able to take clothes over there and do laundry. But yeah, we try and always clean the stuff before it goes out, whether it's clothes or shoe. I take pride in cleaning the shoes, because most other places, bigger thrift stores, don't. They just throw them out there, and I go there and I'm like, these shoes are still dirty. I understand it takes me a long time too, but I like to be able to clean the shoes. I like that part of it.
Mm-hmm. So, we talked about the fact that you're coming up on your 1-year anniversary at Just Thriftin.
Mm-hmm.
What have you worked out the details of a celebration day or what that's going to look like?
I haven't worked out all the details, but I know that it will be the weekend of the 26th, so most likely on the day of the 26th. That's our actual exact 1-year day. So it's a Sunday this month. Don't know exactly what the sale is going to be. Probably do a giveaway and some type of sale. So it will be open from mall hours on Sunday, or 11 to 7. So we'll be running the sale all day. Probably 20% off, or I don't know all the details yet, but definitely stop by.
So people that want to find out about your various businesses, you don't have a website right now for Just Thriftin. So how would they find out more information about what's going on? Because it looks like you have a pretty active social media presence.
Yeah. So for the store, social media is the best. I post mostly on Instagram. We also have a TikTok if people want to find us on there.
Some fun things.
Yeah, both of them are the same. Just Thriftin SC. And so I haven't got around to doing a website, mostly just because we don't do online selling. So it would still be good to have a landing page, so that'll be coming up. But right now, the best way to find us is definitely Instagram, Just Thriftin SC.
And then if they want to find out about your other businesses, what's the best way to do that?
Other businesses, Just Junkin is Instagram's justjunkin.llc. The website is justjunkin.net. You find us on Google as well. And then the Real Life Recovery, we have a website for that. It's realliferecovery.org.
Mm-hmm. So potentially if somebody wants to know about you, they can go online and find that out. And if they're at the Capitola Mall, tell us again where the store is located.
The store is directly across from T-Mobile, and it's in between the Van store and the Santa Cruz boardroom. So you walk in the front door, go past the water fountain, and we're on the left, right across from T-Mobile.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us today. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it. And your story is very inspiring. I
Thank
think
you.
that, a lot of people haven't been as successful as you have. And I know you probably don't necessarily feel successful every day in the midst
No.
of the chaos, but you have overcome what a lot of people can't, and I'm really impressed by that. So
Thank you so much.
thank you. Justin Gorman, owner of Real Life Recovery, Just Junkin, and Just Thriftin in the Capitola Mall. It would be a great way to keep things out of a landfill. B, you can support a local business and really be ecologically or environmentally supportive in the process. So check out Justin's business. We're wrapped up another hour of Think Local First Radio here on Santa Cruz Voice. Thank you for joining us, and we will be back next Friday at 1 o'clock. Think Local First Radio is just one of the benefits of being a member of Think Local First Santa Cruz. This program gives members an opportunity to tell their stories, describe the challenges they've overcome, and provide insight on how to survive and thrive in this special place we call home. Together with our other active marketing efforts, Think Local First is helping support businesses and other organizations throughout Santa Cruz and our neighboring counties. If you are part of a locally owned and operated business, take advantage of what Think Local First has to offer. From social media support to our online and printed directories, our weekly e-newsletter, educational workshops, and networking events, to our radio shows, we're here to support you. And for everyone in the community, Thinking Local First is a movement that benefits us all, making sure the money spent here stays here. Tune into Santa Cruz Voice every Friday at noon for Eat, Drink, and Be Local, followed by Think Local First at 1 p.m. For more information about membership, go to thinklocalsantacruz.org. Until next week, this is Susan O'Connor Fraser.